Hey everybody, welcome to the Sunday, August 15th evening live stream for StudentLoanJustice.org. My name is Alan Collins. I'm founder of Student Loan Justice. We've been around for 16 years now. We've been fighting for many years for student loan justice. Uh, so hopefully you can see this live stream. I'm on a brand new laptop here, so let me just... Okay, so I think that we're good. I'm pretty sure we are. So I'm just going to get right into it, folks. We've got a good bankruptcy bill to fight for now, S2598. This has been a long time coming. Action needed. But it's a very good bill. Senator Durbin is the sponsor. Senator John Cornyn is the prime co-sponsor. They rolled out the bill together. That's very significant. Cornyn is a Republican from Texas, and so that's really a very large deal for us. I hope that you are thrilled. Now, here are the two things that you need to know about this bill. They don't cover privately owned, private loans. So federally guaranteed loans, the old style FFELP loans are good. Any other federal loans are fine. Private loans are not covered by this bill, which is kind of surprising. Typically, what we have seen in many years and decades past from Democrats is, first of all, an attempt to return bankruptcy protections to private student loans. So this time around, that's just completely out the window. So apparently the private lending companies put their foot on the ground, put their foot down or something. But so we've got more work to do. There's another bill from Steve Cohen out of Tennessee coming out that will return bankruptcy protections to private student loans, but that's going to be a different effort. So this bill, S2598, will indeed return bankruptcy protections to federal or federally guaranteed student loans that the debt first became payable more than 10 years ago. So there's a waiting period. And I know there's a little bit of confusion out there. The way this thing is being reported in the media is just massively misleading. People from Forbes magazine, for example, who've... Anyway, don't get me started. Suffice it to say, that is wrong. There's not a repayment requirement. You don't have to make 10 years worth of payments. It's a waiting period, not a repayment period. So there is this 10-year waiting period. There is some concern about whether this bill will cover loans that were recently, say, consolidated or transferred or rehabilitated or otherwise rejiggered. I think they probably should count all loans, even recent consolidation loans, as long as the debt became, as the language of the bill reads, as long as the debt became payable more than 10 years ago. I think we're good. But guys, this is going to be a huge fight for us, even still. The bill says what it says right now, but who knows? For the Forbes people, who are essentially the swamp, these people are just running with the lending industry. These people would be out of jobs if these loans were canceled, by and large. I think they and the people behind, among, around, and between them are going to try very hard to get that 10-year waiting period turned into a 10-year repayment requirement, which, in my view, just kills the goodness of the bill. We would withdraw our support for the bill if it called for that. Because, I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. Sally Mae has been trying to pull this trick for many years. If a guy is drowning and he needs a life jacket, you say, yeah, you can have a life jacket. You just need to swim to that shore over there and get it. Like, that's what a repayment requirement is. It's nonsense. Quite frankly, student loans should be treated no differently at all from any other loans in bankruptcy court. That's what should happen. So this bill does not do that, and we're kind of disappointed. Last session, Durbin introduced a far better bill that simply repealed that one line of code that made student loans different from all other types of loans. So We don't have that this time, unfortunately. But what we do have is a bill that should, I'd say must, pass. You know, Durbin has got the votes bipartisan to get it out of committee tomorrow. And I assume that we have the votes in the full Senate to get a majority. So it's a big deal. But guys, like I said, we've got a lot of fighting yet to do here. And so I'm going to keep tonight's live stream just extremely brief. I'm going to say S2598. Remember that. Think about what you can do out there in the world to pass it. One of the most important things that I can recommend that you do is contact senators like, for example, Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, Josh Hawley in Missouri, and other senators, Republican senators that are on the Senate Judiciary Committee. So who else is on that committee? Well, I said Ted Cruz, I said John Cornyn, both of Texas, Josh Hawley, Missouri, Marsha Blackburn. Oh, also a guy from Utah, Mike Lee, very important. Who am I forgetting? Anyways, if you go to judiciary.senate.gov, you can see all the Republicans on the committee. And we're a nonpartisan group, guys, but I just have to be honest and tell you that historically the Republicans are the people who have always resisted and killed our push. But you know, the senator from Missouri has no good leg to stand on by opposing the return of bankruptcy to student loans. The people of Missouri owe far more than the entire Missouri state budget in student loan debt. Same thing with Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. South Carolina owes far more. Senator Tom Tillis, North Carolina. Same thing. People in North Carolina owe far more than the entire state budget of North Carolina in student loan debt. Texas, same thing. Cornyn, Cruz. I said Marsha Blackburn. So this is not tough stuff, guys. The Republicans should be on our side on this. After all, we are fighting a big government, college-enriching lending scam, and it is a scam, and it's a catastrophically failed lending scam at this point, I might add. So there's nothing that any true conservative could find to like and defend in this federal student loan program. My humble opinion, it's finished. It's toast. This was true even before the pandemic. And the best thing to do at this point is to just take the damn thing to the bath and drown it in the tub. That's a very conservative thing that I just said there. So anyways, Republicans should be on our side. We've got a great bill to fight for. S2598, I'm going to say one last time. Do anything and everything that you can possibly think of to get any of those senators I just mentioned. Go to the judiciary.senate.gov and look at all the Republicans on there. There's like 11 people. I think I mentioned most of them at this point. Another guy from Nebraska. Also Tom Cotton, Arkansas. Oklahoma. Arkansas? Oklahoma. It's either Arkansas or Oklahoma. Tom Cotton. Anyways. But look for yourself, and the Republicans should be on our side on this. So anything that you can think of to do that pushes the needle in our favor is very helpful. So, anyways, I hope that you guys are thrilled. I know obviously nobody wants to file for bankruptcy. It's a terrible thing to have to do. There's a stigma involved. It's bad for your credit record. All these things, true. But guys, I'm telling you right now, if you want student loan cancellation, like by executive order, which our group started the national conversation about with our petition calling for exactly that, I don't think we're going to get any sort of meaningful loan cancellation until we get the threat of bankruptcy back on our side. When that happens, then all of a sudden the curtain comes down. And people at Department of Education, other places are going to be like, okay, we need to broadly cancel student loans because we don't want to be the guys that force 10, 15, 20 million people into bankruptcy for the crime of going to college. I mean, that's just ridiculous. So bankruptcy is very important, guys. And remember, in years and even decades past, we have seen a very concerted effort by our opposition, the swamp, the student loan swamp. They have tried very hard and successfully to foist a fake loan cancellation program upon us as a cheap substitute for bankruptcy protections. We're not getting tricked like that again. We're not doing it. We've seen all the tricks and traps. We will not be tricked again. So bankruptcy is extremely important. And anybody out there who doesn't get that, just look at the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program, where not even 2% of the people who try for it actually got it. In other words, 98.4% of the people who tried for it did not get it. We're going to see the same kind of percentages with IBR, income-based repayment, and of all the income contingent repayment programs, which are really just cancellation programs stretched out over a long period of time, 99.99% rejection rate. So we can't trust any student loan cancellation, even the stuff that Elizabeth Warren and Chuck Schumer are calling for. And we're glad that they are, but I'm sorry, guys, that's just nonsense. Unless the threat of bankruptcy is returned, we cannot expect any meaningful loan cancellation. So whether you would ever or never file for bankruptcy, that's not what's important. Getting that power, getting that threat back on our side, as the founders called for in the Constitution, by the way. A lot of people don't realize founding fathers called for uniform bankruptcy laws, ahead of the power to declare war, ahead of the power to raise an army, ahead of the power to build a navy, ahead of the power to coin currency and create a judiciary, when they gave Congress its powers in Article 1, Section 8. So bankruptcy is very important, whether you would ever or never file. And I hope that you can understand that. If you think about it for a minute, it makes sense. But just believe me when I tell you that, because like you, I'm just a regular borrower and I want this problem solved. I would like nothing more than to get this lending system off the back of the country. I'd like to retire this banner behind me, move on with my life, as you all would probably like to move on with your life. So if you're like me, then we want to fight for what's actually going to solve this problem. And that starts with bankruptcy. It just does. It always has. And we will not let ourselves be tricked, fooled again. So I'm sorry if I missed your guys' comments tonight, folks. I'm on a new laptop here. So I'll just leave it there at that. Maybe the last thing I'll say is hook up with our Twitter account. We are doing very strategic, very important tweets. I hate saying that. I hate Twitter. Most people hate Twitter, but Twitter actually kind of works. So like us, follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.com/studentloanjus, JUS, number 1. And retweet like every tweet that we've done over the past week. There's probably like dozens of them at this point. But retweet those. Do a little quote tweet and call us or call out members of the media in states like Tennessee, Georgia, North South Carolina, Texas, Missouri, Virginia, Colorado. Did I say Tennessee? I think I said Indiana. Anyways, pretty much all the southern states. Oh, Florida, Texas are huge. All of those states, student loan debt now exceeds their entire state budget. So Republicans everywhere should be on our side. So please make that happen. Maybe the last thing I'll say is we need to do a little bit of fundraising here, folks. We've got a donation challenge out from Jason, who I believe lives in Indiana. But so if we can get like 20 people to donate $50 or 50 people to donate $20 in the next like week, or actually 2 weeks, I should say, Jason will very generously step up with a $50 match of his own. So please make that happen, folks. I hate fundraising. We don't need a lot at all to survive and thrive and fight and win this battle. Like, we're just trying to raise like $1,000 in the next 2 weeks. That shouldn't be too hard to do, hopefully. But we can't do it without your help. I mean, we can fight and win this battle on very, very little. Can't do it on nothing. So if you appreciate all the work that we're doing and all that we are poised to accomplish, and if you've been with this group for any length of time, I hope that you're freaking thrilled, because we've never been in a better position than we are right now. We're ready to finally put the sucker to bed. I hope that you agree, that you're pleased, that you will help in whatever way you can. Your actions are far more important than donations, by the way. But we do need a few donations, having said that. So, okay, guys. Well, I will check back later, see if I can see any comments. I will respond to them if I see them, but I can't see them now. So, anyways, let's make this a great week, guys. Good luck. Godspeed. God bless.